All right. Now, even as the G20, of course, continues with its meetings, there has been a high alert that's been sounded, we understand, in Poland. This, of course, comes after the fact that there were 2 missiles that struck Poland and left 2 people dead. Now, the US, in its latest statement, of course, has said that they believe these missiles may have come from Ukraine and not from Russia, as was earlier thought. Joining us right now from Warsaw is Ameya Porekar. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Ameya. Can you detail for us what's happening in Poland even as we speak? Obviously, there must be a considerable amount of shock that these 2 missiles struck Poland and killed 2 people. So give us a sense of what's happening over there. How is Warsaw reacting?
Yes, so the missiles that were launched yesterday, that were fired on the village on the eastern border with Ukraine, there is right now, it's relatively calm in Poland, but it's of course, it's because the Polish leader, Mateusz Morawiecki, has said that it is a serious situation, but he has urged everyone to remain calm because this could escalate into something which no one wants to see. So the missiles that were launched yesterday, the latest is that they were Russian-made, but we don't know. The reports are inconclusive as to who fired the missiles. But we know for sure that they were Russian-made. Could be from the Ukrainian side or the Russian side. The evidence right now is inconclusive. So Poland is right now investigating the evidence.
Now, Ameya, 2 types of statements come out from the G20. At the beginning, we saw, a scramble of world leaders. There was a meeting that was hurriedly called on the sidelines, NATO meeting that was called. We are told the G7 also met. But thereafter, what we've heard is a sense of calm that's now coming in. We were told by the US president a short while ago that they believe that this is a missile that perhaps was fired from Ukraine side. It was fired actually at 2 Russian missiles, but fell in Poland. So is that likely to calm down the situation in Poland?
Absolutely, because right now the one thing that no one wants, whether in Poland or in Europe or anywhere in the world, is this to escalate. So the reports right now coming in are, as I said, they're inconclusive. So it will not help anyone to jump to conclusions as to who has fired those missiles. It could be from Ukraine, as you just explained, or it could be from Russia. But right now, we just have to wait and watch as to what the reports say, what the evidence suggests.
Now, what we know for now, and a fact that has been confirmed, seems to be that these were of Russian make. What are you hearing back home over there? Is that what you can confirm for us?
Yes, I can confirm that. The reports are that they're definitely Russian-made, but who fired them is not, we don't know that. But they are Russian-made for sure. This is confirmed.
Now, also explain to us what happens if the NATO were to step in. There is, of course, talk of Article 4, which essentially means that NATO will have to defend Poland because Poland is a NATO ally. So explain to us the process that is in place in case it were confirmed, perhaps, that or even suspected that this was fired from Russia's side.
Well, the Article 4 suggests that any issue that comes to security will be up for discussion by the NATO countries. So the Article 4 automatically has been triggered. There will be discussions, and if it's confirmed it was fired from the Russian side, it will have serious consequences. Moscow will be called in. But the general feeling is that NATO countries will actively try to de-escalate the situation until there's something conclusive comes out from the investigation.
But what it essentially drove to everybody was the point that a war like this one can turn in minutes. Something like this, which may have been an accident, could actually scale up this war. So is that something that you found was being talked about in Warsaw a lot?
Yes, it was. I mean, this was the concerns in Warsaw they started back in February, but now it's all heated up and it's become worse. But as the Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki of Poland, he has asked everyone to remain calm. He's urged He's urged everyone to remain calm. It's precisely for this reason, because no one wants this to escalate.
Oh yes, nobody wants this to escalate, and coming at this as it does at the middle of the G20 meeting, it does in a sense drive home the point that this war could be beyond anybody's control if mistakes like this one were to be made. But give us a sense of what's being talked about in Warsaw. Is there a considerable amount of fear among the people that it could turn very, very quickly before even countries have had the time to react to this?
There is fear, but it's still the Polish people are still hopeful that this won't get any worse than what it is right now. They are very confident that Poland will be able to de-escalate this. The government will be able to de-escalate this. The army right now is on high alert. The military is on high alert. But there is a general sense that this will not spill out even more. There is a general sense of calm right now.
Right now, you said that the army and the military are on high alert. What does that essentially mean? Explain to us.
What that means is that the army, the military, is combat ready, so they can spur into action any second. They are on high alert. They are going to be deployed, and they'll be ready for action if this escalates further.
All right, and what does that mean in terms of the NATO then? How does that work?
Well, NATO in general, they would also right now they've not said if they are on high alert, but they will come to Poland's aid if Poland decides to launch their own military action.
Now, also give us a general sense of how many NATO forces are in that region, because that will essentially tell us about how this could go forward. At the moment, of course, everybody is hoping, and so are we, that this is going to scale down.
Yes, there is considerable presence of NATO inside the country, as well as American troops inside the country. Right now, there are around 5,000 American troops in the country, sizable number of NATO forces as well. Even as we speak, though, ground action by NATO is not on the table as of now. So, but they are ready. They are combat ready. Even if something happens, if there was any combat, the Polish forces would be the first to spur into action, then followed by NATO. But it remains to be seen. It all depends upon the investigation the evidence that they come up with.
Right, Ameya, at the start of this war between Russia and Ukraine, there was a lot of saber rattling, and we were reporting live from Poland, and we spoke to a large number of people there, and they seem to suggest that they're extremely worried, they're extremely scared of how, it could affect their daily lives. Now, is that sense of fear perhaps now coming back? You would have interacted with a lot of people around you. Is that now coming back?
It is coming back. It is coming back, especially on the eastern side of Poland, which is close to the border with Ukraine. There's a lot more anxiety over there. But in Warsaw right now, people, even though there is a doubt that this could escalate and come close to Warsaw, because Warsaw, bear in mind, is still 400 kilometers from the border. So in Warsaw, there is concern, but there is a sense of calm at the moment, but it just feels like it could be a lull before the storm. So we have to be cautious. There is a fair bit of anxiety.
All right, Ameya, thank you very much for speaking to us on Republic TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as he's pointing out, of course, there is fear, but there's also hope that this will de-escalate very, very quickly. Do remember that there's a statement that's come out from the US that they suspect perhaps that this could be a Ukrainian missile. But what we know right now and what is confirmed at the moment is that this was a Russian-made missile. So the make of the missile is clear. What we also know is that it struck a border town and it killed 2 people.